My name is Aidine O'Reilly and I'm in Real Event Solutions, an event management company in Cork City. Well, Real Event Solutions is a project management, event management company, and we basically concentrate on running events and projects within the educational community, which would be schools, mainly primary schools and secondary schools. And that's because my own background is as a teacher. I set up the company 7 years ago. It started really to run the Form and Fusion Design Awards, and because that was getting bigger and getting lots of attention, I started thinking, well, if that could be done for art and design, maybe it could be done for music. So the next big project for me was Shockwaves Unsigned, which was a band competition for under 18s, and that as well was very successful, and that's really how the company grew. We do all sorts of events, like we run a programme from the Department of Foreign Affairs called Our World Children's Media Awards, and that's to encourage kids to learn more about developing countries and the issues that they face. We do a band competition called Massive Live, which was quite big this year. We also run Discover Primary Science, as in we run the event side of things. Schools come from all over Ireland, and we have, we've got venues in Dublin and Limerick and Sligo and Galway and Cork and Kilkenny and Athlone. So we would run 2 shows a day, and a lot of schools come to these, about 45 schools per show. Well, there are many steps involved in event management. The first step really is, what is the event? And sitting down with the client, well, what do you want? When do you want it? When's the best time for it? And just really, what is the event? Who are you trying to target? What do you want out of it? And then you absolutely bed the event down, as in you say, right, this is what it is, this is how much it's going to cost. Obviously you would have talked money with the client first of all, and they'd have a budget in mind, and that's how you plan the event around that particular budget. And then we'd also create a long list of key things that need to be done and when they need to be done by. But you have to be incredibly good at projecting, because some of our events are 12 months, they're planned 12 months before they actually happen. A lot of people would think that event management is glamorous because they just see the end result and they think, wow, this is fantastic, and you're on the road, you're doing this, and oh, it must be great crack, and but that's actually not the case. 90% of any event management is in the office beforehand, double checking, triple checking, ringing, getting faxes back, and then you have your suppliers and you have your subcontractors, be it the people who are going to deliver your chairs or your lighting or your plasma screens and all of this, and that takes a lot of work. And the better you are at the bit beforehand, the planning that goes into it, then the better the event is going to be, and you're not going to be stressed because you're not going to be trying to troubleshoot things that go wrong at the last minute, and things will always go wrong. No event ever goes to plan. Teamwork is hugely important in events. You can't do an event unless you have a team that work very well and that work very closely, and the better team you have, the better the event is going to be. As well as that, once you have a team in place, you've got to assign them roles and then just trust that they're going to do it. We're very lucky as a company, and we have a fantastic team. So how we actually break down event costs are, first of all, you've got to look at your costs, which would be things like your lighting and your production elements and your sound and your PA, and but then of course you have the planning time, and bearing in mind that the planning time is the biggest amount of time that goes into an event, you've got to look at your own costs as well. And for example, a big event over a year could be 800 hours, but you've got to break down those hours for the client so they can actually see what they're paying for. And then as a company we would do an hourly rate, and that's how we do it. So for example, everything from meeting with the clients, planning meetings, meeting with subcontractors, things like that would all be broken down into hours. And as long as the client can see, and actually make sense of these hours, well then they're normally quite happy. Sometimes it's kind of nice to come here and it's quiet when you've had the manic phoning all day and talking to people all day. It's kind of nice because it's a bit of quiet time as well, and kind of get inspired as well, and it reminds me why I'm doing what I'm doing. I absolutely think the move from teaching to starting up my own business was a good move. I loved teaching at the time, but setting up my own company has been the best thing that ever happened really to me. It's just fantastic because you're your own boss, obviously, but with that, you can be creative as you want, and I do consider myself to be quite a creative person, having a music and an art background, and but you can be creative in business as well. You can pick the projects that you want to work on, you can really go for them, and so it's been fantastic.